Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a video about Open University exams and what to expect and how to prepare and all that stuff. I know the Open University June exams just finished, but I wanted to film this video earlier, didn't have time, but at the same time there are people who start in February who might find this helpful. Also in future years people might find this video and find it helpful. Also, if you're not studying an Open University degree yet and you're researching to know how it is and how it all works, this might be helpful for you as well. So I just wanted to film this video now and tell you my tips, tricks, what I've learned throughout this past 2 years. I'm going to start with how to prepare because I feel like it's the thing that they don't tell you enough about, and I've learned a few things this year that I find really helpful that I'm definitely going to do next year as well. The first thing, and obviously everyone has different study routines and different study styles, and trust me on this one, do a mock exam on like a couple days before the actual exam. The thing with this is you have the ones that I've done so far are all 3 hours long, and that feels like a long time, but it really isn't. The exams are really long. They have loads of questions, different parts that mark the questions differently. So doing a mock exam really helps you understand how the exam is gonna go, and you'll definitely see if you have enough time to do everything, and if you don't, then you can think about what's your strategy towards that day. So for me, here's the thing, I've done a few different exams. For MST 124 it was all multiple choice, MST 125 has a multiple choice part, and normal like writing down your work and stuff part. And I'm doing Q77 I think it is, mathematics and physics, so that's kind of what works for me, but I think all the exams are sort of similar. And then S217 was all writing your work, but all of them have different parts that are marked differently. So here's the thing, the first part is going to be shorter questions that are worth less per question, usually around 40% of the whole exam. My trick here is, if you don't know a question, move on. And that's very difficult for me because when I do a question and I don't know it right away, what I want to do is just figure it out, and I'm like, what is this? I know it. I know I've done an example similar to this at some point and I just want to figure it out. But I've learned that if you don't know it, if you don't know what you're doing within 15 seconds of reading the question, move on to the next one. What I like doing is marking on because you'll have an exam paper with the questions and then your answer booklet. So what I do on the question thing, I mark an X if I haven't done them, so then if I have time at the end I can easily go back and see which ones I haven't done without having to check on my paper and see which numbers I've done and which ones I haven't. So just mark an X if you haven't done it, or if it has different parts, I also find it helpful to do an X if I think I don't know it, or do like a tick if I think I know it. So then this moves to the next part. Then there's usually, or I've had some exams where there's one part that you have to choose, so they might have 8 questions and you do 4 of them. So what I do is read them all of them, just read them, and quickly mark which ones you think you know and which ones you don't, so then you can easily pick the ones you're gonna get the most marks on, and those usually tell you like how the marks are distributed. I find it helpful to do the ones that have more, like are divided into A, B, C and have like 6 parts instead of 2, and then each one has like 2 marks each, because that's a lot easier if you know which, like in S217, if you know which equation to use for that, that's already a point or half a point that you might get. Even if you don't know the working, you just put the equation that you would use and that already gives you points. Whereas if a part is 6 points and you only know one bit, you're gonna get a fifth of the question rather than getting like half of it. So just really do a mock exam and you'll know how to distribute, like really have a strategy for how to get the most marks. What I also like doing is in those where you have to choose like 4 out of 8 to answer, I like underline the ones that I've done, so then I can easily go back and see which ones I can still do. If it's a multiple choice, I also move on to the next one if I don't know it. But with multiple choice, if you get it wrong, it doesn't take down marks. So what I do is leave unanswered the ones I don't know, and then at the end of the exam, if I have time, can go back and do them. If I don't, I can quickly go on the computer marked thing that you like do with pencil and you mark which ones and see which ones I haven't done and just pick whatever, because you might get some right and you might, I don't know, get some points through that. So definitely my biggest preparation thing, my biggest preparation tip is to do a mock exam and to really know where the marks are going in your exam and just work out how, even if you don't know the questions yet, even if you don't know what they're gonna ask you, even if you don't know which questions or which units you're better at, just work out how you're gonna get the most points out of it, and that definitely will help you. But definitely, and I haven't done this in the past because I'm very strict with my thinking, yeah, if you don't know one, move on to the next one, and then if you have time at the end you can do it. But last year I didn't do that, and the second part of the exam is worth more, and I didn't finish it, and I didn't even get to see the questions because I didn't have time. So yeah, I definitely lost some marks on that. I figured this year on my MST 125, I figured the most that I can get on it is about 80 because I left some unanswered, just because I didn't have time and I just wanted to get done some to make sure I passed it, because that one doesn't really count towards your overall degree. So it didn't really matter to me if I just passed it. So I just definitely went straight for the ones that I knew. If I didn't know it, done. And I even had like 20 minutes at the end, but I was quite confident that I passed, so I didn't even bother trying the ones that I didn't know. And definitely if you don't know, and here's the thing, for the ones where you do working, they will count whatever work you've done, even if you haven't gone to the final answer. So if you know some working out of the question, definitely do it, even if you leave it like halfway through, because that will give you points. So what to expect on the day, it really depends on your exam and how it works and stuff, but if you go online on the study home page, it will tell you what you can bring. I will say go in about half an hour beforehand, just so you can go to the toilet, you can see where everything is. I've had 2 different exam centers both years, so it's not going to be the same place every year. I think it depends on how many people are going and stuff, and definitely go a bit beforehand so you can, yeah, go to the toilet, get your things ready, know where your exam's gonna be. Then when you go into the exam, they usually tell you to leave all your things to the side or the back of the room. Usually your phone will go there as well. This year they let us have our phone off under the table. They said just in case, like, we have to evacuate, you can take your phone with you, but they usually don't. But yeah, definitely leave it off, make sure it's off. You don't want it to go like make any noise and then you're done with your exam. So definitely have it off, don't risk that one. And yeah, usually have some food and water with you, whatever pen and pencils you need. The desks are really small, so if you are doing a mock exam, definitely try to do it in a desk where you have limited space, just so you can work out how you're gonna do it, because for like MST 124 and 125, on your desk you have your pen and pencils, the little paper that you have to sign to say that you are in the exam and it's you who's doing it with your ID in the corner. Then you'll have your water, whatever, you can leave that on the floor if you want. But then you'll have your handbook, the computer marked paper, the questions paper, and your answer book. So that's 4 things that you have to juggle with on the desk. They're really small, you don't really have that much space, so there's a lot of like putting things on top of each other and you have to keep moving them. So definitely do your mock exam with limited space so you can kind of get the feel of how you're gonna work that, to not do too many movements, because that doesn't seem like it would, but it does take time out of your exam. Also on the mock exam, they would usually tell you how long you have to do each part in to like have enough time, so definitely keep that in mind. Keep checking your clock, not keep checking it, but once you've done like half of the first part, check the clock, see how well you're doing. If you're not doing well on time, I would say move on to the next part, because usually the first part comes less than the other, so you do want to have time to do the bigger part of the exam. You can go to the toilets on the exams if you let the examiner know. They will come with you. I think I haven't done it. I would recommend not do that. That's why I say go a bit beforehand and then go to the toilet then, so you don't have to leave the exam to go to the toilet. That's going to take you at least 10 minutes out of your exam, plus 5 or so that you're going to think, okay, what am I doing now? So I would recommend not going to the toilet in the middle of it, and then yeah, you can leave if you finish early. I would recommend not doing that because you might have, I mean, unless you're very, very confident, but yeah, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, if you're done before, I think it's 15 to 30 minutes before the exam ends, they won't let you leave. So that's what I say, if you have food and water and you're gonna have to just wait and do nothing there, at least you have something to eat or drink if you're bored and you don't know what to do. But definitely be calm for the exam. You'll see when you go there. It's a bit isolating sometimes when you're doing an online degree and you're basically just studying on your own, doing everything on your own. But when you go there and you see like other people doing the same exam you're doing, it's a bit, I don't know, it feels more like a community feel. You feel a bit less stressed because you see other people doing the same. And yeah, those are my tips really. Just be calm and do a mock exam beforehand. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I know there might be things that I haven't covered here. It's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment that I really wanted to tell you guys about. So if there's anything I've left out, just let me know in the comments. I will definitely go through the questions and answer anything that you guys need answering. I know when I was going into this, I didn't really know what to expect. There were not that many videos out there, so if I can help anyone decide if you want to do it or not, or just help with what to expect and things like that, then definitely let me know. I can do more videos, and if you have topics or anything that you want me to cover, then yeah, let me know all that. And I will see you guys later with another video. Bye!